excited to be here. It looks like we are live, or we are going live, I should say. Today is going to be about branding, personal branding, why that's so important. Because personal branding is what is going to get you, quite honestly, attract the right audience and at the same time repel the audience, the people you should not be working with or don't want to work with. So that's why personal branding really matters in terms of um, you in the marketplace. So, all right, so let's get really started here. So, um, when I turned 30, my life changed from age 16 to 29. I was at a stage where relationships were temporary, fun focused, and casual. Nothing serious at all. But on my 30th birthday, I wanted something permanent, a life partner to love and build a life with. Before Phyllis, the energy that I sent out to the world, right? I sent out my brand that I was projecting, attracted the temporary type of relationships at that stage of my life. When I turned 30, I changed my brand. So my strategy and intention changed. And what ended up happening is I started to attract the permanent type of relationships that I wanted at that stage of my life. That's really how I met my Phyllis, who has who's the love of my life, who has actually been my wife now for almost 22 years. And personal brand in business works the same exact way. You attract who you are. You attract who you are. I remember the first time I built my personal brand online. I posted random tips, quotes, and updates, but I knew that if I wanted serious growth, I had to be strategic and intentional. I started to share wins, lessons, authority, and transformation stories that connected with the right audience. The result of that, followers DM'd me, asked questions, and naturally became my clients. You see, most entrepreneurs think posting content is enough. They post because they should or because everyone else is posting, but cash flow rarely follows. Imagine scrolling through social media. You see people posting daily tips and quotes. Engagement exists, but no leads, right? But no leads that actually convert. Their audience grows, but their bank account doesn't. Now imagine the second entrepreneur who is posting with intention, stories of clients' wins, lessons learned, and transformation frameworks. People start commenting, DMing, and actually leaning in. The right buyers naturally ask, "How can I work with you?" And that's why today we're going to talk about how to get more money by building a personal brand that makes selling easier. You see, a strong personal brand positions you as the obvious expert. It builds trust and makes selling almost effortless. It's about clarity, authority, and consistency, not just visibility. Some entrepreneurs struggle to sell because their audience doesn't know who they actually are, what they actually stand for, or why they are actually the expert. A personal brand clarifies this. What it does is turns followers into buyers and making offers irresistible. So before you actually post, does this content, ask yourself, does this content build my authority? Does it deepen trust? Does it create demand? Does it move the right buyer toward action? All right. So welcome, guys, to the Anywhere Entrepreneur Live. Again, we are all about the freedompreneur way, the freedom to live, to work, to earn from anywhere, and having a personal brand that is clear of who you are, who you help, what you stand for is vital to achieving the freedompreneur way. Last live, we talked about how to turn your content into cash flow. And this live, we're actually going deeper because this live is about how to build a personal brand that makes selling easier so that the right audience naturally leans in towards your offers. By the end of this live, what I want you to know is that why some people struggle to sell no matter how many leads they actually get, how a personal brand reduces friction and speeds up the buying decision, how to make selling almost effortless by being known, trusted, and credible. So if you are ready to start building a personal brand, that naturally converts followers into buyers, type brand. If you're here live with us, type brand in the comments section. And if you are here live with us, um, drop where you're actually tuning in from. We are generally, or if you're watching this in the future, recorded on our channel, then drop also where you're actually tuning in from, because we generally want to know where you're actually at. Okay, so now before I teach this, let's talk about why most entrepreneurs resist building a personal brand. They either think, I do not want to be the face. I do not like attention. I do not want to post about myself. I just want the business to speak for itself. Or they think personal branding is fake. That this is just for influencers. I do not want to be seen as self promotional, right? I just want to focus on the work. Look, I get it. But here's the truth: if people do not know you, they cannot trust you. And if they do not trust you, they hesitate. And when they hesitate, sales get harder. So you have to stop resisting this, because building a personal brand forces you to be visible, be consistent, be clear, share your voice, really share what you actually stand for, and that you actually stand for something, right? Make a decision, choose a side, and let the market form an opinion about you. And here's the thing: not everybody's going to like you, right? As a matter of fact, you might get haters, and that's okay. At least you know you have chosen a side and shared with the audience what you actually stand for. What, because when you share that, then you attract the right person and you repel the wrong person, the person that you never wanted to work with anyway. So that itself, listening to me here, can feel very, very vulnerable. And but the stakes are high, my friends, right? Because if you do not build a personal brand, you will stay forgettable, compete harder on price, have to over explain your value, feel like every sale starts from zero trust, and miss the compounding effects of familiarity in the marketplace. So personal branding matters, because personal brand is not vanity, it is trust at scale. So last live was about the strategic use of content. Today, it's about what all that content is actually building. Because once you use content to build authority, trust, and demand, the next question becomes, what is the identity in the market that all this content is actually creating? That is your personal brand, because content is one thing, but the reputation, familiarity, and trust that content creates over time is something much bigger. Your personal brand is the way that your audience perceives you before you even make an offer. That's why this conversation matters today. Okay. So let me give you the framework for today. A strong brand does four things: it creates visibility, it creates authority, it creates trust, and it also creates recall. Okay. Visibility means people see you, authority means that they respect your thinking, trust means that they believe you, and recall means that they remember you when it is time to actually buy. That's why this conversation matters today, because if people do not remember you, they cannot choose you. And if they do not trust you, they will hesitate to actually buy from you. Today, I want to walk you through how a personal brand makes the sale easier before the sale ever even begins. The key principle is a strong personal brand. It reduces friction, it builds credibility, and positions you as the obvious choice. So let's start with the very first two parts. The very first part is personal brand creates visibility, right? A a personal brand helps the market know that you exist, not vaguely, specifically, right? Not vaguely, specifically. It helps you people associate your brand, your face, your voice, your values, and your message with a clear category of value. That is visibility, not random visibility, strategic visibility. It's who you actually are and what you actually stand for. You become known for a message, a problem, a solution, a perspective, a transformation, a payoff, right? That they actually get. So that's why personal brand creates visibility. Second, Personal brand also creates authority. Once people see you enough, authority begins to form. Authority is when people start saying, you know what you are actually talking about. You understand this, whatever problem they have, or you understand them so deeply. You have lived this. You are what we call lived transformation. You can actually help people get the result that they want. You can actually help people get the payoff. You can actually help people get the transformation that they so desire. So it actually helps build authority. You are the authority that can help them with all of that, right? Authority is built through clarity, it's built through frameworks, it's built through teaching, it's built through consistency, it's built through conviction, and it's also built through proof, right? That's what matters. Because once you understand that your personal brand is not just about visibility, but about visibility with authority, you stop trying to be everywhere and you start trying to be known for something, right? Imagine you're actually scrolling through LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, and you see two entrepreneurs, right? They're posting every single day. The first entrepreneur posts randomly, right? They post tips, they post quotes, they post memes. People notice for a moment, but forget them by tomorrow, right? But the second entrepreneur, they post strategically. They have a message, right? They share their message, they share their values, they share their story, they share their problems, their pain, their challenges. They shared how they came out the other side. They share transformation, right? And every single post is clear of who they are, who they stand for, who they help, what result they actually help people achieve. People start recognizing your name, your face, and your perspective. They associate that entrepreneur, you, with a specific problem and solution. That is the strategic visibility in action, right? When I started building my personal brand, I was posting content everywhere, trying to be seen by everyone, right? I thought visibility alone would get me clients, but it didn't. People would see my posts, they would like them, they would scroll past them, and they would actually forget about me, right? No leads came in. But once I focused on strategic visibility with authority, everything changed. I started showing up consistently with a clear message about who I help, the problem I solve, and the transformation that I actually can help people achieve, the transformation that I actually deliver. People began trusting my expertise. They started commenting and DMing and asking how they can actually work with me, right? Authority was built not by being everywhere, but by being known for something that was very, very specific. The market does not reward random visibility, it rewards memorable authority, right? Let me repeat that. The market does not reward random visibility, it rewards memorable authority. If you are known for something, right? If you're not known for nothing specific, you will be remembered for nothing meaningful. Let me repeat that. If you are known for nothing specific, you will be remembered for nothing meaningful. Okay. So now let's move to the next two parts. The third part of this is personal brand creates trust. Trust happens when people feel you are real, you are aligned, you are credible, you understand them, you can help them. I share a story of my biggest failures in 2018, where I ended up losing $5 million. Right, that is alignment. That is credible. That is real. Why? Because um, people can share their successes, right? When when they achieve something or they become successful, they get a certain result, they can celebrate that and they can share that, right? They can scream about that. Why? Because it's easy. But sharing something, a big massive failure, is really, really hard, right? It's vulnerable, it's authentic. And that's what really people really want. They know that you're real, right? Because what ends up happening is that you can show people that I was there and I knew that, it was okay to be there, but it's not okay to stay there, right? It's not okay to stay there. Okay. And by doing that, when you're authentic and you're creating your authority from that authenticity, trust is built, right? Because trust is built through storytelling, It's built through proof. It's built through consistency. It's built through transparency. It's built through values. It's also built through client results. Congruency between what you say and how you actually live, that is powerful, right? The fourth step of this is personal brand creates recall. Recall is powerful. Recall means that when the buyer is finally ready, your name comes to mind, right? Your brand comes to mind. Your story touched them so much that when they're ready for buying, they're not thinking about anybody else but you. That is recall, right? Not because you should be the loudest, but because you showed up enough with enough consistency, with enough clarity and integrity that the market remembers you. This is huge. Recall is huge because sales gets easier when the buyer already knows you. They know who you are, they know what you stand for, they know what you help them with, what you can actually help them with, and how you actually think, right? Because you're showing up as who you are, um, what I call essence, right? You're showing up in your essence, right? Picture you scrolling through your social media feed and you see two entrepreneurs in the same niche, right? The first entrepreneur, they post inconsistently with random tips or flashy posts. People enjoy the content, but never feel a connection. They enjoy the content, but never feel a connection. And they forget them when they need help, right? The second entrepreneur, though, they share personal stories, they share client wins, they share lessons, they share from their mistakes, they share from their successes, and they can share consistent values. People start trusting them, remembering their name, and thinking, this is someone I could actually work with when I'm actually ready, right? When I first was building my personal brand, I tried to impress everyone, which with slick posts and clever tips, but people didn't know me. They didn't trust me, and they didn't remember when they were ready to actually invest in coaching. Once I started showing up consistently with real stories, transparency, and client results, my audience felt that I was authentic. They saw my values in action. They trusted that I could deliver results. Eventually, when people needed the solution I offered, they recalled my name automatically. Not because I shouted the loudest, but because I had built trust and recall over time. So here's going to be your test with this, right? Can you stay visible consistently? Can you stay clear enough that the market knows what you actually stand for? Can you be known without trying to be liked by everybody? Can you build trust without becoming fake or performative? Your allies in this are going to be consistency, clarity, storytelling, proof, values, repetition, positioning, trust building content, right? And your enemies are going to be inconsistency, vague branding, trying to copy other people, trying to be everything to everyone, hiding your true voice, hiding your true story, showing up only when you actually need money, right? When you show up, you want people to feel you. When they find you, you want them to feel you. And the best way to feel you is when you show up, what type of energy are you actually giving out? Are you giving a I'm here to get energy? Or when they see you, they see that you're here to give energy, right? People buy faster when trust already exists. Um, before the offer is actually even made. A personal brand is not built by one post. It's not built in one post as well. It is built in repeated clarity. It is built in repeated clarity, right? So now let's bring it all together. A strong personal brand makes selling easier because visibility reduces obscurity, authority reduces doubt, trust reduces fear, and recall reduces friction. This is where entrepreneurs get either exposed or reveal themselves, right? Because many entrepreneurs, they want the benefits of a strong brand without the discipline of building one. They want easy sales, they want warm leads, they want premium prices, faster trust, strong recall, but they do not want to show up consistently, be clear repeatedly, share their perspective, communicate values, teach with conviction, let the market get to actually know them. This is the biggest ordeal that entrepreneurs actually deal with because personal brand is built through repetition, not randomness. It's built through repetition, not randomness. So it's a hard word to say. Um, and many people quit too early with this, right? They show up for a week, they disappear for a month, they come back when they need leads. They wonder why the market does not trust them. You cannot disappear for 30 days and expect the market to remember you on command. The rich build riches because they build brands that make trust easier and sales lighter, right? Imagine an entrepreneur who posts sporadically on social media. Sometimes they share insights, sometimes nothing for weeks, right? When they try to sell, their audience forgets who they actually are. The recall is done, right? Engagement is low, trust is missing, and leads don't convert. I was exactly this same way. Now imagine a different entrepreneur. They show up consistently, they share their perspective, they teach with conviction, and repeat their core message over and over and over again. That's why for me, the freedompreneur way, the anywhere entrepreneur way, the live, work, earn from anywhere. That's why if you go on all of our social medias, that's why we share every aspect of our life: the food we eat, the people we're with, where we're actually at, why we're there, what we're spending money on, where we're spending our time on. That's why it matters, because we are showing up consistently, because that's our brand. Our brand is about being able to live, to work, to earn from anywhere. Our brand is about being able to live the freedompreneur way, being able to have my wife call me and say, "Oh my God, the class." She's in Japan right now. The class is super long. It was longer than we're over scheduled by 2 hours, and I still have to go to to the hotel and pack, and then head over to the airport. Can you do the call for me? And I'm like, no problem. That's why we do what we do. That's why we live the entrepreneurship way. That's why we can turn on the laptop or the phone or wherever we're actually at, and be able to hop on um, to our coaching calls, to our webinars, to our events, to our challenges from anywhere we're actually at, right? Regardless what's happening. So as she's doing her thing, I'm like, cool, do your thing, and I'm here. So that's why personal brand matters, right? We're not showing up as anybody else, right? All of our content, most of it is on the go. We're not in studio most of the time, right? We're on the go. Sometimes we're doing it from our phone. Sometimes we're doing it from our, camera. Sometimes our predator is with us shooting our content, but that's our brand, right? So everybody remembers us by being able to live so freely, right? Being able to live our dream life and ultimately, run our dream business that funds and fuels it, right? So I've seen this firsthand with obviously my own business. That's why we're sharing this with you. When I first started posting content, I was definitely irregularly. I was posting whatever was going on in the world, whatever I would take from other people's content and make it my own and things like that, right? And if I went somewhere here and there, et cetera, I'd spend literally a week just creating posts. I would then disappear for a month, right? And then wonder why leads didn't convert, right? Once Phyllis and I committed to showing up consistently, sharing our story, sharing our values, sharing our clients' results, the market began trusting us naturally. We have this framework called Grab, where we actually learned from one of my friends, my friend Richmond, and the grab framework is amazing. And we were doing it so naturally. We started doing so naturally, and then he shared us the framework. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. So the grab framework, the G stands for geography. Basically, you're sharing with people where you're actually at. Where are you, right? R is relationship. Who are you with, right? Who are you with? So if I go to an inner circle meeting, oh, I'm here with Russell Brunson. Oh, I'm here with Richmond. And I'm here with Kaylee Chu. I'm here with whoever, right? Relationship. A is activity. What are you doing there, right? Like my wife right now is, oh man, I'm with, I'm in Tokyo, Japan right now. I am with my good friend Philip and Candy. I am here at this event, right? So activity. And then B is, what are you buying, right? You're at a dinner, you're at a mastermind, you're at an inner circle mastermind, you're at a funnel hacking live, you're at a Tony Robbins event. Like, what are you actually investing in? That's what the B is. So if you want to figure out, like, how can I create content that really aligns with my personal brand, use the grab framework, right? All you're doing is you're saying, hey, this is who I am, and where I'm actually at, right? The geography, and who I'm actually with: my mom, my sister, my friend, my clients, right? Activity, what I'm actually doing there, And then B, what are you actually buying or investing in, right? Use that framework because it lines, it really helps you actually build your actually personal brand. So this is the this is ordeal that every entrepreneur faces. You can't skip the repetition. You can't expect instant results. You earn it through consistent visibility, authority, and teaching with clarity. The rich build riches because they build brands that that make trust easier and sales actually lighter. Right. So drop in the comment section which part of your personal brand do you think needs the most work in your business right now? Is it visibility? Is it authority? Is it trust? Or is it recall? Again, I'll repeat: is it visibility? Is it authority? Is it trust? Or is it recall? Okay, so because here's the truth, here's the big reframe: a personal brand is not about becoming famous. It's about becoming trusted. And by really learning this and knowing this, this changes everything for you. Because once you understand that, you stop asking, how do I go viral? How do I get more views? How do I get attention fast? And you start asking, how do I become known for something clear? How do I build authority around that? How do I deepen trust with the right people? How do I become memorable to the buyer who is not ready to buy yet, but when they are later, they recall me fast, right? Right. So go back into your business, my friends, and stop treating personal brand like vanity and start treating it like a trust building asset that lowers resistance in the actual sale way before you even make your offer, right? That is when the brand starts compounding. That is when selling starts feeling easier. All right, so let's get practical. After this live, your assignment is very, very simple. Write down these four things. The very first thing is, what do I want to be known for? Right? What do you want to be known for? One problem, one promise, one clear category of value. What do you want to be known for so that people know that's what I want? Right? I want that. I want to be able to live, to work, to earn from anywhere. I want the I want to build financial wealth. I want to achieve freedom. I want to wake up every single day and be fulfilled. Right? That's our brand. Right? To live, to work, to earn from anywhere, the freedompreneur way, the anywhere entrepreneur way, the ikigai way. Right? That's us. So, what do you want to be known for? Second is um, what am I doing to build authority? What are you going to be doing to build authority, right? What content, what frameworks, what insights, what proof are you helping the market respect by, uh, by by thinking, right? And proof are helping the market respect your way of thinking. Okay, so what am I doing to build authority? Third is, what am I doing to build trust? What stories, values, results, and examples are you helping the market believe in you? The fourth is, what am I doing to stay remembered? Am I showing up consistently enough to create recall? Then ask yourself a question: does my personal brand currently make the sale easier or harder? If it makes the sale harder, then that is your next fix, right? So the strategy is very, very simple. So review all your content that you're actually creating, right? Your most recent content, your posts, your interactions, right? Score yourself on these four areas. Identify the weakest area, and this is your next fix, right? You stop hiding behind your offer and you start building the identity that makes the offer easier to buy. So my message is very simple today. If you want more money, build a personal brand that makes selling easier, because people do not just buy offers, they buy from people they know, trust, remember, and believe in. That's why personal brand matters. It creates visibility, creates authority, trust, and recall. And those four things reduce friction in the sale. It actually reduces friction before the sale is actually even made, because it's attached as your personal brand. This is how you stop focusing and trying to force every single sale from zero. And you start building a brand that makes buyers feel ready before the offer is actually even made. This is how you get more money, right? So let us know, what is your biggest takeaway from today? Was it visibility? Was it authority, trust, or recall? Drop us in the comment section. We definitely are very interested in knowing. And if this resonated with you, I also want you to type in cash flow in the comments because that is what you actually will get more of when you build a personal brand. And if you want to learn how to build and position your personal brand, I'm going to invite you to our upcoming Dream Life Dream Business Challenge. You're going to learn there how to build authority through content, deepen trust with the right audience, and generate demand that converts to sales. Right, the link is actually in the below in the comment section. Okay, so this live is obviously about personal branding. Next live, we're actually going to be going deeper, and we're going to build on this because once you have the right content, the right positioning, and a personal brand that builds trust, the next question becomes, what do you do when the buyer is interested but still has objections? What do you do when the buyer is interested but still has objections? The next live title is Why Most Entrepreneurs Don't Make More Sales. They Don't Know How to Handle Objections. So, if you're interested in learning how to handle objections, you do not want to miss that because the truth is this: many sales do not die because the buyer is wrong. They die because the entrepreneur does not know how to handle uncertainty, hesitation, and resistance in the actual moment. So if today was about hiding trust, right, building trust before the sale, the next live is about what to do when the buyer is close but not fully convinced. What do you do when the buyer's close but not fully convinced? So if you're looking to learn how to handle objections better, you definitely do not want to miss that. And for those of you who are joining us at our challenge, we will actually see you there. For the rest of you, we will meet again next week. Stay blessed. All right.